My journey to becoming a lawyer really started when I was pretty young. I first became interested in the legal field growing up around a lot of FBI agents and attorneys for this federal government. My mom worked for the FBI for the better part of 30 years, and growing up around them, seeing what they did, hearing about their job kind of sparked an interest in law. And that continued even into high school when I was looking ahead to colleges. I was planning ahead for sort of where I wanted to end up in my life and what types of law I might want to do. In law school, when I was taking various classes and trying to look at what I might want to do, I did my summers at a plaintiff's firm that did a lot of different types of law, from criminal to family, property law, and general litigation, and I really enjoyed the litigation work. So then I started tailoring my last couple years of law school to focus on litigation cases. And coming out of law school, I looked for litigation jobs and jumped kind of right into that field of law. Then when I was getting my master's of business administration, I focused on aspects of business and project management that would help me be better prepared to move cases forward in the most efficient manner, ensure I'm getting the best results on projects, which are very similar to cases in this regard, that I could for my clients. I think one of the biggest strengths that sets me apart is that I have a very mechanical background. I've grown up working on cars, working on boats, very big into engines, how those types of mechanical things work, heavy machinery, all of those types of things. So learning about those, working on those when I was growing up, kind of gives me a very good understanding of product type cases, machinery that isn't used in a workplace, things that might come into play in a case, particularly in the workplace injury type of law that I primarily focus on. I think my most significant achievement as attorney was winning a Young Lawyer of the Year award from an attorney organization that I'm a part of. That really validated a lot of the work that I'd put in the first 2 and 3 years of my practice, because it was recognized by older attorneys and other peers from around the state as I was a young lawyer who was really making a difference, being a really efficient and doing a really good job as an attorney. The biggest impact that I feel like I've ever had on a client, and this incredibly affected me as well and really validated the work that I was been doing and the career path that I'd chosen, was after winning my first trial for a physician that had been going through a really hard time for about 4 years with a pending lawsuit. We were able to win that trial for him, and it validated that he had done everything right and had not done anything wrong. The relief that he felt after that, and being able to sigh, catch his breath finally, and feel reassured, that gave him a whole new aspect and relief to his life. And that was something that just really impacted me, because I knew that I was helping someone really feel better about their life and about themselves. That kind of also spurred me to switch the area of law I was doing to a more individual focused type of practice, where I work with plaintiffs and individuals who have been injured. That way I can help them in a more direct manner and make sure they're getting the help and assistance they need when they've been injured. Law school doesn't give you a ton of hands-on experience, so you need to be selective about the classes that you pick. And I think one thing that I always try to tell young lawyers or people thinking about going to law school what they should focus on is taking classes or working at jobs during their summers that give them a broader experience into different types of law. They should keep their options open and not necessarily narrow in on one area of law immediately. When I first went to law school, I thought I was going to do something with contract drafting, and I came out of law school 3 years later, absolutely couldn't believe I wanted to do transactional law, and knew I loved litigation and knew I wanted to focus there. So I always tell them to keep their options open. A lot of days when I get home from work, even though I read a lot while I'm here in the office, I still like reading whenever I get home to initially kind of relax and decompress. So I read a lot of Star Wars books. I'm a big Star Wars fan. A lot of sci-fi stuff. I've read 2001: A Space Odyssey probably 50 times and watched the movie just as many times. So I just love reading a lot of stuff, and then also watching a lot of movies as well. I'm also a big car guy, and I spend a lot of time just tinkering with cars or working on them or even just researching about them. I love the continued learning aspect of this job because it's the practice of law, it's never a science. So we always have to be able to fluctuate and change our approach based on every case and how that case changes as it progresses. My name is Jayson Hamrick. I'm an attorney here at Bailey Javins Carter. I focus my practice area on workplace injury and medical malpractice cases. So if you've been injured either at work or through some type of possible medical negligence, or you're just struggling with some type of issue in your life, please feel free to give us a call and we're always happy to help you.